in real estate development and the food business. What transformed one-time welfare recipient Tim Blixseth, a high school grad, into a billionaire timber lord? One thing is certain, it was not the hallowed halls of an ivy-covered university. 4 of the 5 richest Americans on the 2006 Forbes 400 list, software king Bill Gates, casino impresario Sheldon Adelson, Oracle's Larry Ellison, and Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, whose combined net worth in 2006 came to a staggering $110 billion, are all college dropouts. The only university grad among the top 5 is America's second richest man, genius investor Warren Buffett, who graduated from the University of Nebraska in 1949. In fact, in any given year over the past 25 years, about 10% of the Forbes 400 either dropped out of high school, only graduated from high school, or never finished college. If you ask the nation's richest man, Bill Gates, what's behind his success, he'll attribute his accomplishments to a sort of chaos theory. My success just proves that life is chaotic. Some butterfly did the right thing for me. Buffett uses a different metaphor but holds out a similar explanation for his success, and it doesn't refer to his 1951 master's degree in economics from Columbia University. As Buffett puts it, I was wired at birth to allocate capital. But of course, success is not as simple or as elusive as those responses suggest. To begin with, there's the matter of raw intelligence. For most of the decades prior to the early 1990s, the notion of intelligence quotient, or IQ, was paramount in explaining why some people excelled at certain tasks. But the use of IQ scores as a measure of future success, except for gauging results on academic tests, has since fallen out of favor. It seems hard to argue that IQs don't matter when you consider that Bill Gates' score is reportedly a mind-boggling 170, far above the 130 or so required to become a member of Mensa, the High Intelligence Society, and even higher than Albert Einstein's reputed 160. What's more, Gates' successor-to-be at Microsoft, Stephen Ballmer, 2006 net worth $13.6 billion, is said to have an equally impressive score. But one of the failings of such tests becomes obvious when you consider that not all high IQ individuals achieve the financial status of Gates and Ballmer, while many people who score poorly turn out to be mega-billionaires. It's not a magical measure of people's capacities, but just one more test that you can be good or not good at, says K. Anders Ericsson, psychology professor at Florida State University. Many researchers, such as Robert Sternberg, author of Successful Intelligence, How Practical and Creative Intelligence Determine Success in Life, and Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences at Tufts University, agree that the notion of general intelligence alone has little value. Just as low scores on intelligence tests don't preclude success, says Sternberg, neither do high scores guarantee it. The whole concept of relating IQ to life achievement is misguided, Sternberg believes, because IQ is a pretty miserable predictor of life achievement. Research shows, in fact, that IQ counts for only 10 to 20% of career success. More than a decade ago, therefore, researchers shifted their focus to other types of intelligence. Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ, says you need to factor in aptitudes such as empathy, interpersonal skills, and self-control. The road to success will, of course, always include enough general intelligence to do the job, but being a star also requires a hefty dose of social skills, argues Goleman. As one executive headhunter puts it, CEOs are hired for their intellect and business expertise, and fired for a lack of emotional intelligence. But even a lack of emotional intelligence is sometimes no deterrent to success. One look at the Forbes 400 list, and it's easy to spot bosses with reputations for being physically and emotionally removed from their employees. You have to consider other factors too, says Sternberg, such as knowledge, thinking style, personality, and the business environment. What he terms successful intelligence is actually a confluence of strong analytical, creative, and practical abilities. That doesn't mean